Carlos Alcaraz storms into the California desert, sitting atop the world rankings with a flawless 12-0 record this year. He has already snatched 2 trophies and looks invincible, while Emma Raducanu arrives seated 25th. She is fresh off the injury list with a new mentor in her corner, silently readying herself for a career-defining moment. The tournament organizers are shaking things up by dropping a cool $1 million specifically for the mixed doubles bracket, a financial milestone never seen here before, fueling rumors about a dream team that everyone craves but no one has officially verified. There is a reason this event is dubbed the Fifth Slam. The player roster is more stacked than any other competition outside the majors. The venue boasts the second-largest open-air arena on the planet. Between the dry desert breeze, the towering mountains, and the massive 16,100-seat Stadium 1, the tennis garden offers a vibe you cannot find anywhere else. It creates an electric atmosphere that convinces enthusiasts to fly halfway around the globe just to witness it. However, the 2026 edition is doing more than just attracting superstars for the solo brackets. They are going all in to transform the mixed doubles competition into a must-watch blockbuster. Their massive monetary investment represents one of the boldest tactical moves in the history of the event. Before we tackle the burning rumor, we need to pause and recognize the sheer magnitude of what the organizers are orchestrating. The grand scope of the 2026 setup warrants deep analysis, and grasping the context makes the potential Alcaraz-Raducanu partnership even more tantalizing. Let us break down precisely what is unfolding, because the schedule actually features 2 distinct mixed doubles showcases, and knowing how they interact is crucial. First up is the Eisenhower Cup, the classic single-night tie-break tens showdown, happening right before the main action kicks off on Tuesday, March 3rd, illuminated by the floodlights of Stadium 2. This crowd-pleaser has been running for years, effectively serving as the unofficial opening act for the entire festival. Its structure is rapid-fire and thrilling, tailored for spectators who crave celebrity athletes and instant gratification. The lineup features 8 locked-in duos fighting for a winner-takes-all check of $200,000. In this format, the first to 10 points wins rather than grinding out 6 games, creating an intensity that keeps everyone on the edge of their seat. The roster for the 2026 edition is absolutely stacked. Reigning title holders Elena Rybakina and Taylor Fritz are back, aiming to snag the trophy for a second straight season. Fritz is actually a double champion, having also won in 2023 alongside Aryna Sabalenka, cementing his status as the event's most successful competitor. Iga Swiatek and Casper Ruud are reuniting after a run that carried them deep into the mixed doubles championship match at the 2025 US Open, making them perhaps the most experienced duo in the bracket. Meanwhile, Amanda Anisimova and Andrei Rublev are forming a brand new alliance for their debut. As for the wildcards, Jessica Pegula and Tommy Paul are flying the flag for the Americans, bringing rock-solid consistency to the court. Emma Navarro and Ben Shelton are returning for their 3rd year in a row. They have built real synergy over time, making them a lethal threat in a game that favors quick reflexes and bold strikes. Leylah Fernandez and Felix Auger-Aliassime are teaming up to showcase some serious Canadian firepower. Then, you have Mira Andreeva joining forces with Daniil Medvedev, pairing the defending women's singles champ with one of the sharpest tacticians on the men's tour to round out the group. Lastly, Jasmine Paolini and Matteo Berrettini are representing Italy, creating a high-class national duo that caps off a brilliant list. Tickets for this spectacle vanish in hours, and the highlights dominate social feeds for days, but there is a catch. Scan those names again and notice who is missing. No Carlos Alcaraz and no Emma Raducanu. 2 of the most hyped, most watched, and most photogenic icons in tennis are traveling to the desert, yet neither is playing in the exhibition, which has sparked intense speculation about the main mixed tournament. This primary competition runs from March 10th to March 15th, offering that massive $1 million jackpot. To grasp why that payout is such a game-changer, we have to look at the history behind the numbers. The mixed doubles bracket only debuted in 2024, with a tiny purse of $150,000. They increased the pot to $370,000 in 2025. But after witnessing the explosion at the US Open, tournament officials decided to make a bold move. New York had boosted their prize fund to $1 million, triggering a level of success that shocked even the most hopeful promoters. Virtually every heavyweight ranked in the top 10 for both men and women has committed to the roster. The lineup boasted titans like Carlos Alcaraz, Taylor Fritz, Iga Swiatek, Jessica Pegula, and even Naomi Osaka. Philippe Dor, the tournament's chief marketing officer, didn't mince words when the news broke about Indian Wells. The game plan is straightforward. Pack the schedule with more action, because we all know the star power tends to thin out once the second week rolls around. We are talking a cool $1 million, the very sum that turned the US Open mixed doubles into a ratings juggernaut. First serve is slated for March 10th, deep into day 6 of the main event. It is a calculated move, designed to anchor the sport's biggest icons to the venue and provide spectators a compelling excuse to brave the desert heat long after two-thirds of the singles field has packed their bags. As of this writing, the official entry list for the Indian Wells Mixed Doubles Showdown remains a mystery. That is the clincher. The Eisenhower Cup roster is locked and loaded, but the main bracket pairings? Blank pages. And in that silence, in that void of information, lies the burning question currently dominating conversations across the entire tennis landscape. Are we about to witness the reunion of Carlos Alcaraz and Emma Raducanu? Their shared history is short, but it is heavy with significance. They joined forces at the 2025 US Open after Alcaraz personally slid into her inbox with an invite, a gesture she called both a distinct honor and a thrill. The duo battled their way to the second round before falling to the formidable team of Jack Draper and Jessica Pegula. In the grand scheme of mixed doubles statistics, that is a perfectly respectable finish. But if you measure it by the sheer voltage of public hype, the spectacle, and the raw entertainment factor, it was a phenomenon the sport had not witnessed in ages. The internet dubbed them Raducaraz barely 6 hours after their debut. The avalanche of content sparked by their alliance was staggering. The on-court chemistry, the high fives, the effortless vibe between them, it was looped, screen-grabbed, remixed into highlight reels, and blasted across every social platform for weeks on end. They were not just two athletes in a draw. They were the kind of power couple that briefly convinces casual observers, folks who could not name a single Roland Garros winner, that tennis is the most thrilling show on earth. What really hooked the audience was the electric dynamic unfolding during those points. Even in the relaxed atmosphere of a mixed doubles exhibition, Alcaraz brings the ferocity of a man who absolutely despises losing. His fist pumps, his hype for his partner, his pure joy for the game. None of that was a performance for the cameras. That is simply his DNA on a tennis court. And Raducanu? She stood her ground beautifully, refusing to fade into the background. Which is no small feat when you are sharing the baseline with the world #1 and every lens in the stadium is trained on him. The way she navigated high-pressure serves, her agility at the net, and how she mirrored his intensity instead of drowning in it. Those were the hallmarks of a competitor who knows she belongs among the elite. Together, they sparked a reaction from the stands that felt qualitatively different from the polite applause usually reserved for mixed doubles. The crowd watched with bated breath, desperate for the show to never end. Then December arrived with the promise of a reunion in Miami, only for a foot injury to sideline Raducanu, popping the balloon of anticipation before it could even rise. Ever since that letdown, the speculation has never truly faded. Indian Wells presents the perfect stage for a comeback. Both superstars are officially locked in for the singles brackets. Alcaraz enters as the top dog in the men's draw and the reigning king hunting a three-peat. Having hoisted the trophy in both 2023 and 2024, the California desert has become his personal playground. His 2023 triumph over Daniil Medvedev was the moment he announced himself not just as a slam champion, but as a Masters 1000 juggernaut of the highest caliber. His title defense in 2024 against his good friend and countryman Alex de Minaur only cemented that legacy. The tournament adores him, and the feeling is entirely mutual. There is a special aura around a two-time champ returning fresh off an Australian Open victory. Sporting a perfect 12-0 record for the season, it cranks the excitement up to 11. Raducanu enters as the 25th seed, arriving with healed feet and renewed vigor. Fresh from training sessions with her former mentor Sven Groeneveld just a week prior to the event. It is an intriguing twist that the media hawks picked up on instantly, even though no one has put pen to paper on a permanent coaching deal just yet. Arguably, the stars are aligning better for a reunion here than they did in New York. At Flushing Meadows, the mixed event was squeezed into the frantic first week. It ran parallel to the qualifying chaos, right when schedules are a nightmare and players are hoarding every ounce of energy. The mixed doubles showdown at Indian Wells is set to kick off on March 10th. This timing means that before the first mixed match even begins, Both Alcaraz and Raducanu will already have a clear picture of their standing in the singles bracket. Any players who suffer an early exit from the main draw will suddenly find their schedules wide open. Conversely, those still alive in the singles competition must manage their energy with surgical precision. But looking at Alcaraz's form in 2026, he is exactly the caliber of athlete who can storm deep into the second week of the singles tournament while maintaining the sheer confidence and physical engine to tackle the mixed doubles without compromising his primary mission. He has pulled off this balancing act before, and the $1 million prize pot changes the entire conversation compared to the landscape 2 years ago. As we approach Indian Wells, Emma Raducanu's situation demands a closer look, because her narrative has taken several fascinating twists in the final days leading up to the event. First, we have to address the concerns surrounding her foot. The bone bruising that forced her to withdraw from the December exhibitions in Newark and Miami has evidently healed enough to secure her a confirmed spot in the Indian Wells draw as the 25th seed, a ranking that would have seemed like a pipe dream at the start of 2025. Climbing from outside the top 300 to a seeded position at Indian Wells within a single calendar year is a monumental achievement that often gets drowned out by the deafening noise of the Alcaraz shipping hype. Yet, make no mistake, this is a legitimate and formidable tennis comeback story in its own right. Then came the headline that sent the British press into a frenzy. Raducanu was spotted back on the practice courts with veteran coach Sven Groeneveld ahead of the tournament. Groeneveld is a Dutch tactician who has previously guided Ana Ivanovic, Sharon Fitchman, and a host of other WTA stars, and he had a brief stint within Raducanu's camp in the past. Seeing him back in her corner immediately sparked rumors of a permanent partnership, although neither side has released an official confirmation. What this reunion proves is that Raducanu is sticking to her trademark approach for major events, treating her preparation with deadly seriousness, seeking out the finest expertise available, and arriving in California ready for war rather than just showing up and crossing her fingers. Her latest public sentiment, echoed by the Spanish media, struck a chord with everyone who has ridden the roller coaster of her career. "I might fall down 7 times, but I will get back up 8. That proverb, linked to her during the pre-Indian Wells buildup, perfectly encapsulates the competitive spirit of Emma Raducanu. She has taken hit after hit, enduring surgeries on both her wrists and her ankle. She plummeted out of the top 300 and has faced a firing line of questions about her coaches, injuries, private life, and future roughly 10,000 times over the last 4 years, answering with varying degrees of poise, yet she continues to rise for that 8th time. However, the one detail that remains shrouded in mystery, unconfirmed by Alcaraz, Raducanu, or the organizers, is whether this dream partnership is actually happening, and that silence is deafening right now. Tournament director Tommy Haas and his team are undoubtedly locked in negotiations, with agents across both tours regarding the mixed doubles lineup and comments from Philippe Dor about using the prize purse to lure singles heavyweights suggest they are hunting for the biggest names in the sport. And frankly, there is virtually no bigger combination available than Alcaraz and Raducanu. If the organizers are truly committed to elevating mixed doubles into the must-watch spectacle we saw at the US Open, then the phone call to Carlos Alcaraz's team regarding his availability with Raducanu should be the very first move on their list. It is also crucial to address the one point of genuine controversy surrounding the mixed doubles payout, as it highlights a tension that is rarely discussed openly. When Indian Wells decided to triple the mixed doubles fund to $1 million, they simultaneously slashed the prize money allocated to the men's and women's singles and doubles draws. The men's singles champion is set to pocket $1,151,380 this year, a figure that sounds massive until you realize it is a drop from the $1,210,125 Jack Draper earned for the title in 2025. Meanwhile, the runner-up will take home $612,340. The overall prize pool has contracted, creating awkward optics where the tournament is reducing pay for those grinding through the most grueling and prestigious brackets, all while tripling the budget for an Honorarian Exter, invitational, mixed event. A financial trade-off that has left many in the tennis community feeling rather uneasy. Critics argue that singles is the heartbeat of the tour, the very reason Indian Wells claims the title of the 5th major. But if the money keeps moving in this new direction, we have to ask a tough question. Is this mixed doubles explosion cannibalizing the sport's crown jewel? This isn't just about one tournament. There is a much bigger picture painting the backdrop for Indian Wells 2026. Mixed doubles is undergoing a radical evolution, gathering steam like never before in the pro game. Just look back to February, when the WTA locker room shut down that controversial five-step proposal for the women's singles. That is a separate battle, sure, but it highlights the fierce tug-of-war over how tennis is packaged and sold. Here is the real game-changer. Insider Ben Rothenberg broke the news that mixed doubles will launch the tennis action at the Los Angeles Olympics in 2028. That update is an absolute earthquake for the discipline. Think about it: if mixed doubles is the curtain raiser for the games on American soil in just 2 years, then every single tournament from here on out is basically a live casting call. The athletes who prove they can bring the fire, the chemistry, and the drama to the mixed court, the ones who can pull in casual fans, are destined to become the poster stars for the biggest show on earth. If you are digging this breakdown, smash that subscribe button because we have heaps more content dropping as the Indian Wells bracket heats up. And let me know in the comments below, what is your take on a potential team-up between Alcaraz and Raducanu?